Hello, Internet Wrestling community. Jeremy, the varsity athlete Bodette, here with you from Wrestling with the Business, giving you a quick shot here. Some news just broke yesterday, and I had to talk about it. I had to get it off my chest. So here I am at Insane Game Studio North, giving you the breakdown, the latest and the greatest. This is a follow-up on a deep dive that I did almost exactly 1 year ago this month, January 2024. Now it's January 2025. We're talking about the Vince McMahon, fall of Vince McMahon, the fall from grace. Started a year ago when Janelle Grant filed this claim of sex trafficking and abuse, and this incredible 64-page filing, I think it was, with all kinds of lurid details about Vince and John Laurinaitis and an unnamed WWE superstar, Brock Lesnar. Well, since then, there's been a lot of things that have happened in the last year, but a big update came this month. So as a part of Janelle Grant's filings, I guess as a consequence of that, it triggered an SEC investigation. And basically the investigation was, did Vince McMahon steal a bunch of money from WWE? And if so, how much? And what's that going to lead to? And there was a lot of speculation over what was going to happen, especially in the last couple of months since Donald Trump won the election, the 2024 presidential election. It's no surprise to anybody that knows anything about wrestling or the past and future president is going to know that he has a pretty close relationship with both Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon. Linda was actually the head of the Small Business Administration in his last stint as president, and in addition to that, it looks like she's going to be angling for another economic position in his cabinet. This time around, perhaps a slight step up from where she was. I think maybe commerce or something. I don't know. Check me in the comments below. So before I get into that, please drop your elbow on that like button. Give us some love here. It's 2025, new year, new us. I'm here in Lego City hanging out with you guys, giving you the updates on Vince McMahon. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do that thing that you love so that we can keep doing what we love. All right, let's get into it. So I got it right here. This is from ESPN.com, so a legitimate, decent source here. Former WWE CEO Vince McMahon, SEC, reach a deal over settlements. The Securities and Exchange Commission says that it has settled charges against former WWE CEO Vince McMahon over his failure to disclose to the sports entertainment company's board and others that he signed 2 settlement agreements worth $10.5 million with 2 women in order for them not to reveal potential claims against himself in WWE. So Janelle Grant is, I believe, one of those 2 that we know about. There's another one, I think was more of a secretarial position. I remember reading about it, but there weren't nearly as many details released on that particular situation. The SEC and McMahon, without admitting or denying its findings, agreed to cease and desist from violating certain provisions, pay a $400,000 civil penalty, and reimburse WWE approximately $1.3 million. And this is a quote from McMahon's statement that he made on it. Today ends nearly 3 years of investigation by different governmental agencies. There has been a great deal of speculation about what exactly the government was investigating and what the outcome would be. As today's resolution shows, much of that speculation was misguided and misleading. In the end, there was never anything more to this than minor accounting errors with regard to some personal payments that I made several years ago while I was CEO of WWE. I'm thrilled that I can now put all of this behind me. So again, this is not directly related to Janelle Grant, that potential class action lawsuit that appears to be coming his way. This is more a tertiary consequence of it. There have been several payouts that Vince has made over the course of the last 3 years. The SEC is investigating as a result of that. So this isn't the stake in the heart that I guess that the Janelle Grant claim is, but it's more of one of the 1,000 cuts that's probably going to lead to his ultimate demise. McMahon resigned from WWE's parent company in January 2024. This is talking about the Janelle Grant situation after a former employee filed a federal lawsuit against him and another former executive of serious sexual misconduct. At the time, Vince McMahon stepped down from his position as executive chairman of the board of directors at WWE's parent company, TKO Group Holdings. He continued to deny wrongdoing following the filing of the lawsuit. The SEC said Friday that one agreement was signed in 2019 and the other in 2022. One agreement required McMahon to pay a former employee $3 million in exchange for the former worker's agreement not to disclose her relationship with McMahon and her release of potential claims against WWE and McMahon. There's Janelle Grant, right? That's the $3 million in 2022. The other agreement obliged McMahon to pay a former WWE independent contractor $7.5 million in exchange for the independent contractor's agreement not to disclose her allegations against McMahon and release potential charges. Ann Callis, a lawyer for Janelle Grant, who is a former WWE employee who filed a lawsuit against the company, accusing him of sexual battery and trafficking, said in a statement that the SEC's charges are confirmation that McMahon broke the law to cover up his behavior. So, I don't think anybody expected this to be settled before Trump took office. I think there was a lot of speculation that McMahon was going to be able to leverage his relationship with Trump family, Trump influence, obviously Linda's influence. It's not good for her if this is out there floating around somewhere in the ether. I think that there was some speculation that they were going to be able to resolve this by then. So what does this mean? What does this mean for us? Well, a couple of things. One, it means that Vince McMahon is free of any SEC-related charges. So from a business standpoint, from a regulatory standpoint, he appears to be in pretty good shape. There's been a lot of speculation, and stronger than speculation from guys like Eric Bischoff and Conrad Thompson that he's buying some kind of, or is in the process of purchasing some kind of a production company. If you watched our show this past Friday, you heard Matt predict that Vince McMahon was going to surface again in the wrestling business with a company. There's reports that he is attracting talent, not necessarily on-air talent, but support, behind the scenes, production support to get things up and running. What kind of production is he going to be doing? Is it going to be wrestling? Is it going to be television? Is it, there's a lot of speculation out there right now, but it looks like from a business standpoint, from a regulatory standpoint, he's doing really well. $400,000 to the SEC and $1.3 million to WWE is chump change. That's nothing. If you've been following the business now, you know that Vince McMahon sold basically all of his TKO stock for like $11 gajillion. I don't have the number off the top of my head because he did it in several stages. He sold a chunk, then he sold a chunk, then he sold a chunk. But I think all adding up, it was like approaching $1 billion. So he cash flowed $1 billion. So $1.3 million, that's like you and me dropping a 20 out of our pocket, unfortunately. So assuming all this stuff Janelle Grant is saying is true, assuming all the stuff that this other contractor is true and what a lot of people have said, speculated, I would say this is both justice delayed and justice not done. Assuming it isn't true, well, then he, shook off a burdensome lawsuit that had been, or investigation that had been filed against him, and now he can move forward with his life, and we can see what's going to happen next. So this doesn't close any of the doors on the Janelle Grant situation. That still is very much open, and we'll be following that close by. So we'll have to see what happens to that. But when it comes to business, it looks like it's full steam ahead for 2025 with Vince McMahon when it comes to getting back into the entertainment business, perhaps getting back into the sports entertainment business, perhaps even getting back into the professional wrestling business. So let me know down below, what do you think? Was this a slap on the wrist for Vince McMahon? Yes, it was. Do you think there's any more charges coming? There's been talk that Janelle Grant's got a whole bunch of other women that are grouping together with her and that this might be some kind of a class action lawsuit. Let us know down below what you think. Please, again, click that like, comment, share. Keep us with you wherever you go. We're going to be here coming to you live every Friday night. Check us out. And of course, throughout the week as well, check us out at Wrestling with the Business. We're now on Blue Sky now. Check us out at Wrestling with the Business and hit us up on Twitter at WrestleWithBiz. And we will see you next time. Keep watching, and we'll keep wrestling with the business.